So here we are. So part of the process of making these pillars for my roof is that I gotta weld these plates on the bottom of those pipes. You know, if you remember, those pipes are 1/2 inch, no, I think 3/8 thick wall. So it's ID is 8 inches exactly, and the outside is 8 inches. Like, and what's 3/8 twice? 6/8? 6/8? 3/4? Whatever it is, I can't calculate my ever shit. In any event, that pipe is so long, it's 8 feet long, and I can't friggin' stand it up somewhere and weld on the plate. You know, that's impractical. So what I gotta do is take this plate out there, you know, in the back shop, and I gotta butt it up against the end of the pipe, where it's actually a tube, and I have to hold this thing perfectly square against the bottom, because that thing is a chamfered, very precise 90-degree angle. So you got to hold this plate while gravity's doing its thing and tack it on there. So basically what I do is I have scribe. Let me get it zoomed in a little where I can see it. Yeah, that might be it. Readjust. Sorry about that. Shaky ass thing. I should show a picture of this stand sometime, this tripod I use for this camera. So anyway, oh yeah. Always clean your MIG tip all the time. So I think you can see it, there's a line. Basically, I crossed the corners, found a center, I punched it, I took this guy and I scratched a line that is, it's basically about 20 thousandths of an inch under 8 inches across. So it's like 390, 3 inches, 990 thousandths, something like that. And I got an old bolt, like a piece of long bar, that's a piece of like 1/4 inch steel. It's off of something I stripped, and I've cut like a little over inch long pieces, and I will go in here and I will weld them right against this line. Let's see how much more I got to zoom in. That's about it, huh? So where this scribe line's coming by, just on the inside of that line, I'm gonna just spot weld these guys on there, tack them on there in 4 positions. And then you go out there to put this into the end of the pipe, and you can like tap these back and forth and get it where you have to tap that guy in there, and it will hold the thing straight so I can tack weld it. So that's the trick. No. All right. That one looks pretty good. Alexa, volume 2. So it's easier for me to reposition this plate each time so I can get a good look at the line of where it's standing. The worst part is I gotta friggin' wear these big ass gloves. So typically I cut them off with a bandsaw by hand. So like right there, it's leaned away. Try and get it about straight, you know. More importantly, you have to make sure the bottom doesn't go past that line. loose is easy to fix. A little tight, you gotta cut shit off. See what I can do with. Now I'm going to eyeball it. Oh boy, got it good. And I try and do a pretty good tack so I can maybe bend them a hair when I'm putting it in there. Let's see. Think I lost one somewhere? What the hell? Oh yeah, it's on the floor. Yeah, I would like to stand down. Let's see. Right about there. Looking good. So, let me zoom it in. I had to take my watch off because you can't put it, you got that watch in your glove, it screws everything up. So when I'm welding all in the back, they tend to, when you welded it, pulls it back. So all of them are at the bottom, they're right against the line and they're leaning away from the line. That means I can go out there with a hammer and tap them out a little bit and get them just a hair tight. So I have to tap this guy into the end of the pipe and it'll hold it in position while I weld the damn thing on there. Because it's going to be vertical welding and rotating the pipe. I've got it set up while they'll roll across the sawhorses as I weld them. That's the trick. You know, I sacrifice a lot for the YouTube because I love listening to music while I'm working, but you can't do that because some musicians err or whoever bought the music is going to come after you if somebody hears it without me getting their permission and paying them a few pennies ahead of time. So I'd like to do that. I just can't figure out how to do it. You know, you try and find out, how do I get permission? You need a bank of lawyers. So instead of publicizing fantastic music that a lot of people may not know about, because I'm like old, you have to suppress it and to protect somebody's friggin' wine collection that they're buying with all the money. At least that's my view. If I don't know. I'm not a singer, but it seems to me if I was a singer, I'd want people to hear my songs. Where is it? Oh, yeah. I put it away. This little guy. Whoa. So like I said, to make 8 inches, you need 4 halves, or 4-inch sides. So I line this pretty much eyeball stuff, you know. Gonna lay it on top of the scale. Make sure it's just a hair under. There it is. Out of the way. So your line. You can bear in mind you can push this in. See, you can make it go that way. You gotta try to be delicate. Make it just enough a line that I can see it. Both ends line up perfectly. All right. Oy, oy, oy. Anybody got a weird habit like me? It's always got to be the left glove first. If it ain't the left glove first, things go wrong. Superstition. Alrighty then. That looks fairly flat. Right about $1. Ah, bad. Approxima. This could by a mile. Gotta make sure you're looking at the right line. There it is. Right about that. All right. To screw it up, you can just grind it off and start over too. You know? Oh, too far. I like that. Man, that's looking tight. They're all on the right line so far. See that way. This looks like the first part I cut off of a ragged piece. No like to stand, huh? Then we're gonna have to fucking work it. Right there. Come on now. And that, they say, is that. So this is what I was talking about right here. See, those four rods that I tacked on there, they're only in about a ½ an inch, ¼ inch right now. And it's hard to move. You know, have to hit it with a hammer. And so that way I can tap it in and close that gap to where I want it. Because here's the thing, the best way to throw a friggin' good bead at the root of this chamfer is to have this chamfer not all the way to this plate and have it stay where I put it. You know what I'm saying? So So the next thing I got to do is weld it. It's a little hot out here yet. I'm cooling off from messing with it. So I have to get that one apart again and grind it and get it ready to weld too. And then we weld. Cool. So here's these two pillars, pipes, posts, whatever you want to call it. And you can see them there. It is going to be an extension to that roof you see. And these kinds of roof on the right, you can see it's got all these posts going down, and on the ground there's like a metal rail that goes all along. Well, I don't want that rail right here, you know, where I walk through all the time. So I'm gonna put, let's see, 21 foot long I-beam across there. Here's another one for the other side right here. It's been sitting here for a few months. And then I'll put the roof on top of that. It'll extend another 15 feet. That's the plan, at least. Here stands my pole. Set in a whole bunch of concrete. If you look on the left side, right here, this slab is 6-inch slab. That's not big enough, so I dug it out underneath a big cavity. There's like 3 bags of concrete down there and rebar that is all attached to the bolts that come up through there. That was a bitch. Yahoo. Time for beer. Back in the day, that's how we tested to make sure that the weld was good. If it rang good, then it was pretty well connected.